If you saw my video about the Magi65 Pro, you'll know that I'm a fan of the recipe that IQUNIX pieced together for that keyboard. The build quality and sound are fantastic, especially considering the non-pro version costs $119 USD, which is not cheap, but priced competitively for what it is. And while the Magi65 is my favorite low-profile keyboard at the moment, as some of my viewers noted in the comments, it is a little on the smaller end. Enter IQUNIX's latest low-profile edition, the MQ80, essentially a scaled-up 84-key version of the Magi65 with the same build quality, mount structure, sound, and QMK and VIA compatibility, just a bit bigger and with a bit of a price bump. Before we get into it, you should know that this keyboard was sent to me by IQUNIX. However, they had no say in this video's content, so what follows is my honest perspective on what's good and perhaps not so good about it. That said, let's get into it. The biggest issue I have with the MQ80 is its expected price. Initially on Kickstarter, it was listed at around $139 USD, which I think is a reasonable price bump from the $119 price of the Magi65. However, the expected MSRP post-Kickstarter is rumored to be between $159 to $199, which could put this out of reach for a lot of people. But we'll have to see where things land. Regarding configuration, the MQ80 is available in two colors. This shadow black version that I received, which has a black case and dark purple keycaps, or a moonlight silver version, which has a silver case and white keycaps. The keycaps are generally nice. They're made of PBT with a comfortable low-profile dip and clean dye sublimated characters. You also get a few alternative Windows and Mac keys. Regardless of which color you choose, the MQ80 uses the same gold-red low-profile linear switches used on the Magi65. These are made by Kale, come pre-lubed, and are quite nice, with no noticeable scratchiness or issues as far as I can tell. Though, if you're looking for some variety, the MQ80's hot swappable pin layout is the same as Kale's Shadow Series switches, which are mostly palm and have a few more linear options, as well as tactile and silent versions. Check out my Magi65 video for audio comparisons of these with the gold reds. Additionally, the MQ80 comes with a very nice hardshell case, as well as some basic tools like a keycap and switch puller, a telescoping brush, a braided USB-A to C cable, USB converter, and a 2.4 GHz radio frequency dongle. That's because the MQ80 supports wired and radio frequency connections which pull at 1000 Hz, as well as 3 Bluetooth 5.1 channels pulling at 125 Hz. From a hardware perspective, again there's a lot that's identical to the Magi65, which is a good thing because the MQ80 is equally impressive from a build quality perspective. The case is a solid slab of CNC'd aluminum that's finished with an exceptionally smooth feeling 180 grit anodized process. On the top and sides, it's very simple and low key, but flipping it over we find some geometric details and branding, as well as 4 small X-shaped silicone feet, which together with the very considerable 1,180 gram weight, give this keyboard a ton of stability on the desk. The typing angle of the MQ80 is fixed at about 4 degrees and has a 10.2mm front edge height, which makes it very comfortable to use even without a wrist rest. On the right end of the keyboard, we find a red magnetic aluminum accent badge, which complements some of the red coloring on the peripheral keys to give the MQ80 a bit of an imperial feel, especially with the right backlight settings. On the left end, we find a 30mm long vertical LED light bar that's used both for communicating information like connection mode and caps lock, as well as general aesthetics. This is a nice addition and was only included on the larger and more expensive Pro version of the Magi65. Speaking of lighting, the MQ80 uses north-facing per-key RGB backlighting that's reasonably vibrant and comes with 19 pre-programmed effects, as well as really fine color control with 45 individual options available for some of the effects. These shine nicely because the MQ80 doesn't have a top case. it uses IQUNIX's Le Tray style silicone dampened tray mounting system with the PCB plate assembly simply dropping in from above. Pulling this out, we can see that the PCB is flex cut both horizontally as well as specifically around the tray mounting points. It also uses snap-in stabilizers which attach to the gold accented and flex cut FR4 plate. Internally, IQUNIX has opted for the exact same 5 acoustic dampening layers as the Magi65 with pour-on foam, as well as an IXPE and PET switch pad between the PCB and the plate, and another layer of pour-on foam and an IXPE pad beneath the PCB. Again, I think this is a smart choice given the excellent sound signature we know this configuration offers. The only other thing worth noting here is that the MQ80 sports an upgraded 4000 mAh battery compared to the 3000 mAh one that came with the Magi65. IQUNIX estimates this could get about 350 hours of use without using the LEDs, but in my worst case scenario testing with all lighting on at 100%, I got 18 hours. That said, let's have a listen. As you may expect, the MQ80 sounds pretty similar to the Magi65, especially in person. Both are exceptionally smooth feeling and sounding low-profile keyboards that have a crisp and clear, but somewhat muted sound that makes them easy to recommend, both for private use and in shared workspaces. From a feel perspective, the switches are very smooth and quick, and there's just a little bit of flex from the silicone mounting cushions, but nothing radical, just enough to provide a comfortable typing experience. Again, if you want to get an idea of what the MQ80 might sound like with Kailh's Shadow series switches, check out my review of the Magi65, where I provide back-to-back comparisons. All things considered, the MQ80 is exactly the keyboard that I wanted to see made after I got my hands on the Magi65. It has the exact same premium construction and excellent sound, with just a few more keys and the inclusion of a side light. That said, I would have liked it a lot more at the Kickstarter price of $140 rather than $160 or $200. Not that it isn't worth the higher price, just that at $120, the Magi65 feels like such an incredible value by comparison. I could personally justify a $40 price bump to go up to the MQ80, but for $80 more, I'd probably stick with the Magi65 and use VIA to remap the secondary layer to access any missing keys using function holds. Either way, you can save 5% using my affiliate link that you'll find in the video description. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Is the MQ80 the upgrade you've been waiting for, or are you opting for something else? And as always, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.